Good evening, Fernwood. It is your tingling jingler Neil, and it's time for us to comment on commercialism with another episode of Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. We are watching episode 279 from April 28th, 1977. It's time for us to do a recap. It was a dark and stormy night in Fernwood as Martha Shumway was drying and folding her laundry, and she was really glad to be her daughter Kathy's roommate. Kathy, on the other hand, was feeling a bit crowded and suggested that Martha would move back in with George. Martha knocked down the envelope containing former roommate Howie's ashes and explained that she'd gotten so many insults from George that she doesn't want to move back. Then Kathy's boyfriend Mac shows up with a book of state birds and gives all of his attention to Martha while Kathy packs up to move out herself. The storm continues over at the Shumway home as George struggles to keep his house together. Mary Hartman shows up to bring her father a meal, a Hungry Man TV dinner, and tells George that she has a plan to get him and Martha back together. After Mary leaves, George gets a visit from a stranger who needs a jumpstart for his car, and it turns out to be Dennis Foley, who immediately puts a grimace on George's face, since Foley had an affair with his daughter Mary and left his other daughter Kathy pregnant. Kathy comes in out of the rain saying she's moved back in, and Dennis comes out of hiding and solemnly greets her. And of course Kathy lets him have it, but at least Dennis is apologetic. George takes pity on Dennis and offers him a jump start, and Kathy rushes straight to the phone to call over to Mary. And George walks in and says, let Mary have a little bit of time before she finds out about this, so Kathy thinks twice about telling her sister. Speaking of Mary Hartman, she's in her dining room looking at photos as Kathy rushes in to tell Mary about their new neighbor. But before that, Mary shows Kathy some pictures of her and her husband Tom when they first got married, and much more recently before Tom was accused of murder and arrested. And Kathy thinks that Mary and Tom are perfect together, at which point Mary says, yes, we are in love. So finally Kathy hesitates to tell Mary about her former lover. And it seems the storm is over at the Capri Lounge as Mary visits Martha with a newly coiffed George in tow. And when Martha sees him, she giggles immediately, and George takes this as a bit of an insult. But Mary plays the go-between, filling George and Martha's head with compliments that she says came from the other. And then she's interrupted by Kathy, who can't remember whether she and Mac had a date that night, but she heard that Mac was heading over. And then Mac shows up, and whoops, it wasn't to spend time with Kathy, but to spend time with Martha. So Kathy glowers in the distance, and George thinks that it's time to give up on his pursuit of Martha. And Mary sits with Kathy to console her about the strange new development. So everyone, it's a lot going on. I feel like things are swirling and kind of getting mixed up. So it's time for us to jump into this pool.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Hey, what you doing, Martin?
Organizing Tom Hartman's defense.
Yeah, I'll help you with that. Say, Bertie, I got a question I want to ask you.
Providing it's not a stupid question.
Okay, here goes. Now, Tom Hartman's family want a psychiatrist to examine him. Tom Hartman's friends want a psychiatrist to examine him. Hell, Tom Hartman even wants to be examined by a psychiatrist. Now, if all them people want that, that's got to be good for them, right? Well, then, how come we ain't again it?
Because we want him declared insane.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I mean, if that head shrinker says that he's nuts, then the jury's gonna go easy on him, ain't they?
Oh, I see. You want the jury to think that he's sane, so that when he accuses us, you and me, of murdering Dewey, they will believe him. Is that right?
Hell no. I mean, that would be stupid.
And we're not stupid, are we? So you're one of a kind.
Oh, there's my man.
Oh, Mayor Merle.
How you doing, Vernon? Good to see you.
Merle?
Texas, how are you? Hey, thank you there,
Yeah.
Corey.
Well, here, what can we do for you?
Well, I tell you, Vernon, it's more like what we can do for each other here.
Here.
Here you go. Here you go, Texas.
Thank you.
First of all, let me start by congratulating both of you on the wonderful thing you're doing here on Tom Hartman's defense. I think you're doing an excellent job, and I thought you would from the outset.
Well, that's first of all. Now, what's second of all?
The Guardian Party.
Oh, yes, the Guardian Party.
Right. See, what I would like to do at this stage, as the future candidate and as the standard bearer, if you will, is draw on some of them telethon funds that we raised that were earmarked for the Guardian Party. You know, you remember that, don't you, Vernon?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Well, let me put it this way, Vernon. I think the time to launch the presidential campaign for the party is right now.
You really want to be President of the United States?
Mm-hmm.
Hell, that's what I want to be.
President Merle Jeter.
Well, that is a noble ambition. Unfortunately, certain members of the organization might feel that the fund for the defense of Tom Hartman should come first. Well, certain members, unfortunately, might feel that saving the life of an innocent man is more important than furthering the political ambitions of male Merle Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
They might even say it in public.
Well, sure, I can semi-understand that too, Vernon. Well, let me ask you this: what do you think the tab would be on a first-class legal defense there?
Huh. Not a damn dime if he was to die in the cell.
You're always joking away. I wouldn't take him too seriously.
Never have.
Well, actually, there is a way of mounting the defense of Tom Hartman cheaply. If we could get Nathaniel Dearborn to act as defense counsel.
Nat Dearborn? The circus clown?
Well, that was before he became a lawyer.
Oh. He's an excellent clown.
But as a lawyer, he comes very cheap.
Is that right? Well, what about now Tom and Mary now? What do they think about Dearborn?
Oh, I think they'd take him. Of course, Mary might change her mind and want F. Lee Bailey.
F. Lee Bailey? No, I'm not sure I know him. What, is he more expensive? Or?
Well, you take Nat Dearborn's fee, multiply it by 1,000, and you have F. Lee Bailey for a day.
Mm-hmm. Well, then he's more expensive, is what you're trying to say. All right, let me ask you guys this then. Suppose I just drive by Mary Hartman's house and pay her a little visit. I mean, because as far as I'm concerned, one of them windbags is just like the next.
Sounds like a good idea, Mr. President.
So, circus is in town, huh?
Come in. Wanda! Is your house on fire?
Oh, no. My house is not on fire.
Oh, I thought maybe your house was on fire and you were just rescuing the dinner.
Oh, no, Mary. See, what this is just a little surprise dinner party from me to you as a token of my great esteem and friendship.
Oh, Wanda, you could have just sent to Hallmark.
Oh, now come on, honey. Come over here and sit right down and wait till you see what I have whipped up for you. Now, let's see. There is braised asparagus tips and quiche Lorraine, and as a special treat, coq au vin.
Oh, Wanda, there's only one trouble.
What's that?
I'm not hungry.
Oh, nonsense, Mary. That's just because you haven't been eating properly. You know, what with running back and forth between Tom and Heather and everything. And, well, I can see you're doing your housework. No, come on, Mary. Eat with me.
Look, Wanda, I'm really not hungry, but I'll tell you what. Why don't you eat, and I'll be very glad to sit here and watch you.
Oh, well, okay. Here we go. Oh, boy. Well, if I do say so myself, it is perfectly delicious. Now, please have some.
Well, maybe I'll just have, like one little, taste, like over here. Mmm. 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 You're quite some cook.
Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Dear, why don't you just go ahead and put some on your own plate?
I'm really not hungry. I'm really not. Could you pass me the salt, please?
Oh, sure. Here.
Thank you very much. What I'm going to try to do now is just force down this next little smidgen.
Oh.
That's all.
Is this the house of Mary, quite contrary? Hey, Wanda, how you doing there? Good to see you. Hi, Mary.
Hi, what a coincidence. I can't believe it's two of my favorite people. Look what Wanda brought over for me for dinner. Come here, Merle.
God.
I want you to sit down, and I want you to join us, okay?
Thank you so much.
Now, I want you to have my share, since I'm not eating it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, actually, Mary, I just come by here to see how you're doing and tell you not to hire F. Lee Bailey.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, that's all right. Here, Merle, now, I want you to taste this. It's exquisite. Just taste that.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that good?
I like
the
it.
other thing is, I've had a lot of trouble getting him on the phone.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think the asparagus need a little accent?
Would help.
It would help?
A little.
It would help?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, my God. We've neglected the quiche. Look, would you take care of this?
Sure.
And I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go get this
Yeah.
other thing here.
You know, I hear that there Nat Dearborn is a real good man.
Oh yeah, I hear very good things about him. It's interesting. Something about that man that's just very good.
Mm-hmm. What? Yeah.
Merle, is there by any chance some reason you'd like Tom to remain in jail?
Why would I want him to remain in jail?
Oh, I can't imagine.
How about it, Mary?
I think I hit it. I think I hit the perfect touch for this meal.
How you doing, Tom?
Just leave me alone.
Well, I can't altogether do that. I mean, they have rules about running this place.
Get off my back, Foley.
Well, I just wanted to say goodnight, Tom.
Hey, wait a minute. You're not going over to see Mary, are you, huh? Now, you stay away from her. I'm warning you, Foley.
I
I'm warning
plan to stay away from that. Good night, Tom. Try and get some rest.
you. Not a chance of that.
Got a visitor for you, Hartman. It's Mary's wife.
Texas, would you give me a hand with this?
Oh, sure thing. Here
Thank
you
you
go.
so much.
Wanda.
Hi. Hello, Tom. How are you?
Okay. Nice to try.
Listen, I was over at your house tonight having dinner with Mary, and I brought some of it for you.
Oh, yeah, that's real nice of you, Wanda. I appreciate that.
Well, it was Merle and Mary's idea.
What, Merle? What do you mean, Merle was at my house?
Oh, Tom, not to worry. Listen, Merle knows that if he tries anything funny with Mary, I'll walk, and then his political career will be sunk. So just relax. He's no threat.
Yeah, well, you want to know something about him, Wanda? I don't trust that guy.
I don't blame you, Tom. But what you have to trust is the fact that Mary would never prefer Merle over you.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. Yeah, you're probably right about that. I mean, after all, why should I worry about Merle when Dennis Foley is back in town, huh?
Dennis Foley's back in town?
Yeah. Wait. What, do you know something?
Oh, no. No, Tom, look, Dennis Foley is a thing of the past.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, thanks, Wanda. I appreciate that.
Probably.
Visiting hours is over, Mrs. Mary.
Oh, okay. Well, buck up, Tom. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I'll be in again to see you real soon.
Yeah, thanks, Wanda.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
How you doing, buddy? Probably worried about that head shrinker coming by tomorrow, huh?
What's it to you?
Oh, hell, ain't nothing to me. Ain't nobody gonna come by, look inside my head, see if I'm crazy. Man, that probably just really does have you worried. Something fierce, I know. How'd you like to have a shot of this booze here? Well, I thought it might help you take your mind off your troubles. Lord knows you got enough of them.
Keep your cheap booze.
Well, sure thing. Anything you say. Listen, I'll just leave it right here in case, later on you might want some. All I'm trying to do is be a pal and all. Like that nice Sergeant Foley fella. Night, Tom.
I don't know, sweetheart. We got him halfway Christian looking with this haircut, but I don't know about getting these clothes on him, sweetheart.
Now, everything is going to be just fine, Charlie, here. Now, you get the leather sweater off and the shirt on him.
Okay.
And I'll
Here
get
we go.
these little...
Easy, fella. Now, take it
jeans.
easy. We're not planning to hurt you any at all.
Okay, darling.
Easy. Now, just take it easy. Now, don't. Honey, I'm going to have to pin him down with this one. Ow, he fell. Ow, he bit me over. Don't watch out for the feet, honey. Watch out.
Charlie, it's a good thing we didn't get them cowboy boots on him because he'd have knocked me for a loop while he was...
Oh, Lord.
Charlie, get it.
Oh, never. Let's just...
You know what?
What?
I don't think he likes them blue jeans. Now, maybe what we ought to do is try to get these brown pants on him instead, because we can't have this christening, unless he's properly dressed and all, or at least even dressed. I mean, I just don't think the Lord would think it was respectful,
I sure wish we could have had it in a real river. We could have deep dunked them right and proper.
Criminy, Charlie, do you believe it? The guests are here and we ain't even... Now, honey, hurry, get them pants on him.
Sweetheart, listen, honey, sweetheart, we are never going to get these pants on this boy. I don't care what... Well, I tell you what. Let me try with the robe, huh? How about one of your robes? Would that do it?
Fabulous idea. It's properly religious and it gives him kind of an apostle type look.
Okay, right.
Hurry, honey. Get him into it.
Come on, fella.
Go
Let's
on,
go.
darling.
Let's go. Here,
Coming.
would you like a milk bowl? Come on. I won't hurt you. Come on.
Good.
Come on. Attaboy. Attaboy. Come on. Here we go. Here we go.
Hello. Hi. Oh, I'm so glad y'all could come. Just come on in and make yourselves at home, okay?
I'll try, but feeling at home with a bathtub in the living room is going to take a bit of doing.
Oh, Paul, I think an indoor baptism is much better because you can preheat the water. Yes, that is just the right temperature.
Hi, Loretta. Hi, Kathy. Guess what? Foley's back in town. Did you tell Mary that? No, did you? No, and hon, we have just got to protect her. I personally have never seen it myself, but there is something about that Foley that's a mess of sexual attraction for a lot of women.
Yeah, boy, don't I know. For that matter, boy doesn't marry no. See you later.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Manick. How are you? Reverend Berryfield. I'm so glad y'all could come.
I wouldn't miss this for anything. The baptism won't mean anything to the boy, of course, but I'm very anxious to observe his reactions from the scientific point of view.
That is sacrilege, Doctor. This baptism will mean a great deal to the child. He may not understand the symbolism of the ritual, but the feeling of being filled with the Spirit of the Lord is strong enough to be felt by any child.
Anyway, a face full of water is.
Hi, Heather. Mary.
I'm sorry, I almost didn't come. I'm just so unhappy. Things are real bleak at the Hartmans.
God is on your side, Mary, and you're going to be all cheered up. You wait and see. Everybody, I do have a little announcement here to make. Our friend Mary Hartman, who we all know and love, has been selected by Charlie and me to be our new little child's godmother.
Oh, Loretta! Oh, thank you.
And where is the godfather?
Well, due to circumstances beyond his control, the godfather is up for murder. But I feel pretty safe in speaking for him when I say that I think that he'd rather be here.
Oh, and here's our little angel right now.
Loretta, he is just adorable.
Weird. Oh, my godson, he's so tan.
Oh, hello, young man. Would you like to shake hands?
Mother, I know you can't resist younger men, but why don't you leave the kid alone?
Take it easy, Martha. He does bite. Just as smart. Now, take it easy, fella. Take it easy. It's your daddy. Here, would you like another milk bowl?
Perhaps we could begin with the baptism, if you'd all...
Good idea, Reverend.
Just...
That's a good idea. Honey, I got him. I got him. Get his feet, sweetheart. Get his feet. You got his feet?
Not hurting him.
Yes.
Here we go.
The eyes of the Lord are on this blessed child as we baptize him into the kingdom of heaven.
Yes.
How glorious it is that this blessed sacrament, this blessed sacrament.
Reverend.
Yes. Well, I hereby pronounce that this child, this boy.
Yes.
By the way, what is his name?
Honey.
Oh, good gosh, Edward Zell, Charlie, I knew with their, what all we had to do this week, I plumb forgot to pick his name out, honey.
What about Tom? It's my favorite name for a man.
Oh, no, Mary, that is too confusing having two Toms next door to each other.
Well, maybe Loretta would agree to move.
Yeah, I like Maxwell.
Oh, Mother, that's square. Why not Mick, like Mick Jagger?
You could call him Raymond after me. I won't be alone long enough to cause much confusion.
I'll tell you what I think we should call him. I mean, my feeling is that the way this whole...
Now, everybody stand back. Just be calm about it. Honey, grab him, hit him off that way. Everybody be calm. Just everybody. Look out. Don't watch where you're stepping. Honey, look out.
Put some clothes on him.
Reverend Berryfield, I don't want to tell you how to run your business or anything, but I think you ought to postpone the baptism for a few days.
You think you'll be all right, Charlie? God, it's just a mess.
Well, I figure we were due for some chaos. It's been a little while. We start in the break room with Tex and Vernon talking about their specific plans for Tom Hartman, and Tex is kind of outlining that everyone wants Tom to be seeing a psychiatrist. And why is that good for Tex and Vernon, who specifically want Tom to be locked away? Vernon explains it, that if Tom is declared insane, that when Tom comes with his truthful notion that Vernon and Tex murdered Dewey, no one would believe him. Tex doesn't totally get that layer. Pretty much every time he talks about it, Tex would just rather murder Tom. Then Merle shows up and asks for some funds from the telethon that they had a couple of weeks ago, and Vernon makes his excuses but says that they may be able to help if they can get Nat Dearborn along. And now we see further Nat Dearborn criticisms that he used to be a circus clown. Again, we'll see what he has available to him, and I really hope that the GGG don't win this fight by the end of the series. And then we're at the first of two Wanda delivering dinner scenes. Wanda brings a meal over to Mary, maybe as a friendly gesture, maybe as a way of checking in with Mary. But then we see Merle show up and Wanda's demeanor completely freezes over. It was unclear to me the other day when Wanda was distracted. She said that she was thinking of Tom, and if we can believe Merle's judgment at that time, she really was thinking of Tom. But I think she is thinking, because Tom is in jail, that Merle will be interacting with Mary a little more, and in that she knows that Merle has some kind of attraction to Mary. Merle finds any reason he can to get over to the Hartman home to visit Mary. He gave her presents, he offered her a job, and getting Tom out of jail would be a way for Mary not to be in Merle's sort of circle of vulnerability. I think that sounds awful when I say it that way, probably because it is awful. And then we're over at the jail with Dennis saying goodnight to Tom, and Tom making very clear he wants Dennis to have nothing to do with Mary. And of course, Dennis, in this case, even though he's living in the same town just a few houses away, says he'll never intend to go visit Mary. We can see that Tex is listening in on what's going on, and that's when Wanda shows up with her meal delivery for Tom. And we see Tex overhearing that there is a problem specifically with Dennis and Tom. Tex pulls her away and then tempts Tom with a bottle of liquor. Everyone in town knows that Tom is a recovering alcoholic, and Tom is at the deepest depression that we've seen him in during this show. I think even possibly deeper than just working at the factory ever made him. And after Tex leaves, we see Tom. He takes the bottle and he's about to pour it out. This is his way of dealing with his pain. It's not a healthy way. We know that he's got real problems with alcohol, but this is where he is. And I'm not sure what that's going to mean, because we know that he's going to visit his psychiatrist tomorrow. We don't know who that psychiatrist will be. I'm not sure how much progress will be made if Tom is drunk at that meeting. And finally, we close at the Haggers, who have prepared their small feral child for baptism, which is the chaos of today, because that kid really wants nothing to do with nothing. Doesn't want no clothes put on him, doesn't want to be dipped in water. The religious stuff is completely meaningless to the child. Everyone comes over and we catch up with folks. You know, when we have big groups of people, that's when we find out which people know which things. When people catch up on stuff, we know that Loretta and Kathy are both clear that Dennis is in town and they both want to protect Mary. But then we come back to the party and Mary is the godmother of the child who apparently when there's a new child on this show, no one has the ability to name it. Kathy didn't ever name the baby that she had. It was still named Baby when it was stolen. And this feral child, the Bigfoot kid, has no name either, as far as anyone knows. However, the baptism, as I've mentioned, ends in chaos as the kid cannot handle being carried to a big tub of water. And Mary ends the episode suggesting that perhaps it would be better to delay this particular ritual. So everyone, that is our Thursday episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you for leaving your thoughts, feelings, and impressions down in the comments. Thank you for commenting on commercialism with me. And we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.